tedious speech, but I'm going to do the best I can. Like you had mentioned, coming to UAD was really something that happened at the very last second. Growing up in Canada, I didn't really know a ton about collegiate soccer or collegiate sports, the NCAA. I didn't really know much about it. My plan was, when I was done playing high school, was to go overseas to Europe and continue playing soccer over there. That was really my plan. When I finished, I had played in the U.S. a lot, different tournaments and stuff like that, and had a lot of offers to go play throughout the country. I did go on visits all over the place, but really playing collegiate sports, coming to the U.S. was never really something that I was really entertaining. I was planning on going overseas to continue playing soccer professionally there, right from high school. When I finished my high school senior season, I don't know if I wasn't prepared, I wasn't ready. To go overseas and continue playing, I just wasn't ready to do that. I wasn't ready to leave home and stuff like that. So it really was a last second decision where a month before UAD, I decided, you know what, I'm going to give college soccer a try. And UAD, fortunately, still had open scholarships, so they decided to welcome me in. And like I said, it really was something that happened at the last second. The reason why I did come to UAD was because it was the closest school to my house. It was that really is the truth, because honestly, when I came here, I didn't expect to stay for 4 years. I was like just 2.5 hours from my house. I can go home every weekend and visit with my family and parents, but I'm not ready to go overseas quite yet. So let me just go play soccer for a semester and let's see what happens in the States. When I came here, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything about the school, anything about sports, and so from Coach Morris Lupinek to the players I met here, like Steve Porter, Keith O'Connor, Dan Savage, Cal Galashevsky, Jeff Thomas, Dominic Bella, all these players really made me feel at home. And like I said, it's something that I really need, because I knew I wouldn't have a problem on the soccer field. I knew that wasn't going to be a problem for me. My biggest thing was being away from home. It was very hard on my parents. And it was very hard on me. I mean, for the first month or so, it was like every night I was debating, do I just go back home, do I stay? I decided, to stay, and like I said, really the gentleman that I mentioned before, Steve Porter and those guys, they really made me feel comfortable. Coach Morris Lupinek, he was a very hard coach on most players. Fortunately for me, he wasn't. He definitely showed a lot of favoritism to me, probably, telling a lot of the upperclassmen that leave him alone, don't bother him, and guys were probably doing extra work and stuff like that he didn't necessarily make me do. So I definitely thank him for that, because if he would have been as hard on me as he was on the other guys, I'm not sure I would have stayed. So I want to thank him. I would definitely want to thank him for that. So from all the players that I played with, Coach Morris, the medical staff that saw me quite a bit, because I was in the training room and in the medical room a lot. Wasn't blessed with size, unfortunately, so I was hurt a little bit. But again, the biggest thing for me was never on the pitch. It was always outside of the pitch, just feeling comfortable and getting to know everybody. And like I said, the biggest memory for me actually happened in that building over there in the North Quad, because I built a lot of relationship with my former teammates and all the athletes. Bakari Alexander, Jermaine Jackson, all these guys, they lived right next door to me on the 4th floor right there, and Perry Robinson, and all these guys that we all lived together, all the basketball players, the soccer players, the baseball players, like Pacey. I mean, all these guys, it was like a family. It really was at that time, with all these different players, and that's really what made me stay for the 4 years. So for all those guys, I can't tell you what it meant to me. Some of my highlights on the field were, I mean, obviously all the individual awards, the all conferences, the players of the year, the newcomer of the year, all those type of things, all the scoring records. They obviously meant a lot to me as a goal scorer. That was my job. If I didn't score, I wasn't doing my job, and I knew that the program, relied on me. Coach Morris, he asked, a lot of me because he knew that, as the goal scorer, especially the first couple of years, that there was a ton of senior class that was there, especially the sophomore year, Cal and Jeff and all these guys that really cared a lot about the program and wanted to take it to the next level, and especially that sophomore year, those things that those guys, knowing that was their last season, that was really our do or die season. So all those individual records and all those things that I did at that time meant a lot, but really it was all about the team because those guys helped me so much. So I wanted to do anything I could, especially in my sophomore year, their senior year, to help them get to where they wanted to be and make, win our conference and make to the NCAA tournament. So the one small side tidbit that I did have that I'll never forget as well is my first game and my last game in college. My first game was against local university, and again, no one knew who I was from any team. And the first time I touched the ball, I scored. That was a very big game against Oakland University, which was Coach Morris's alma mater. So I remember that leading up to that game was a lot of pressure, and there was so much going on to win that game. And the first time I touched the ball, I scored the first 2 minutes. But also the last time I touched the ball in college, 4 years later, I also scored. So my first touch, my last touch, I scored. That's a small tidbit. So against Wright State in the NCAA tournament or MCC tournament 4 years later. So a small little flashback is I came in okay and I left okay. But really, the two biggest highlights for me at the University of Detroit were both happened in my sophomore year. Like I mentioned earlier, winning the MCC tournament and going to the NCAA tournament for the first time in the school's history and only time. On the field, that was for me the highlight. Beating Butler 2-0 at Butler and scoring in that game. I remember telling Morris actually before the game, he came to me and said, don't let this be the last game for these seniors. These guys care so much. Don't let it be their last game. And for those of you that know me, I didn't talk very much. I was very quiet on and off the field. And I remember telling him, this won't be their last game. We're winning this game. And the first 10 minutes of the game, we were up 2-0, and that was the game. So, I mean, that on the field, that was the biggest highlight for me, was winning that game and making it to the NCAA tournament. Just to give something back to all those guys that give me something there. The second biggest highlight for me also happened in my sophomore year, but it didn't happen on the soccer field. It actually happened off of the soccer field. It not only was the biggest highlight for me at UD, it actually was the biggest highlight of my life. I met my wife, my sophomore year. Actually, I think it was so early. My first semester is when we won the NCC tournament, made the NCAA tournament. Second semester is when I met my wife in class. So for me, that was the biggest highlight at the University of Detroit Mercy. Was meeting my wife. So my 4 years I spent here, I didn't think I was going to last. I didn't think I was going to make it. I thought I was going to be too homesick. So whether it be everyone around me that made me feel comfortable, I'd like to obviously meet my wife, who's 17 years later still here with me. Thank you. It was 4 years of my life that obviously I'll never forget. It's given me really everything. So I just want to thank obviously all the players that I played with, all the coaches that I've had, my parents obviously who will be here tomorrow. I don't know how they even let me come. They're so strict and just let me go so far away, not knowing anybody. I can't even tell you. I don't even know how they let me do that, to be honest with you. But I just want to thank, especially all my family and friends and everyone that I met along the way, and the committee for nominating me. I didn't even think that this was an option. I didn't even know this existed, to be honest with you. Thank you for nominating me, and I look forward to tomorrow, the ceremony at halftime, where I can share this with my parents as well, and hopefully be there to witness a Titan victory tomorrow. Yeah.